Hello sister friends, we are back with our third installment of Taeda Farms blog by Maddie and Janelle, and all things positive and joyous. I'll think of a title soon. Please do you know what write down below what would be a good title for this series as I bring to you the blogs that Janelle and Maddie are sharing about Taeda Farms. Y'all are going to come up with something way better than I would if I tried, so write down below, because this is pretty lame here. At the beginning, these intros horrible. The opposite of what marketing says you should do at the beginning of a video. Okay, let's get going. March's blog. It was posted on March 3rd, 2025, of course. It is titled Taeda Farms, More Than Just Flowers. And it is written by Maddie Brush again. Maddie did such an amazing job. She had such a great way with words in the first vlog that I'm very excited about this one. I did glance over it. I just can't remember if it was as eloquent as the first one. She did a very nice job of she was a wordsmith, if you will. She's not her father. Maddie writes, I grew up spending most of my summers and my weekends on a family generational cattle ranch that land. Its rhythms, its seasons is woven into who I am. It shaped me, grounded me, and gave me parts of my childhood that I still look back on with deep gratitude. My brothers and I spent countless hours there working, playing, and soaking in the stillness that only country life can offer. Okay, I have comments already. I'm going to hold them. There's a picture that I will share of a cow in the background on this farm, and two people just sitting looking up like they're just enjoying the land. People and their family. Somehow I do not even recognize them as Brown family members, but they could be, and they could be much younger, and that could be why I'm not recognizing them, or they could be other cousins, or something I don't know. Very serene and beautiful picture. Though let's go on, there are aspects of that ranch we all still romanticize. Cool Wyoming summer mornings, where the air was crisp, and the whole world smelled like sagebrush, and possibility the scent of cows in the coral before cattle drive. Dust kicking up in the early light water, hitting the irrigation ditches in the crop fields. The sound of signaling life and growth. My grandma in the kitchen cooking full-size breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Always homemade, always enough to feed an army. Late nights with cousins and family friends, running through the fields, playing with the animals and talking about everything and nothing. Our imaginations ran wild. Country firework shows where the sky felt endless. I've still never seen anything quite like those fireworks. Okay, pause. Indeed, she doesn't disappoint. She is the little orator, isn't she? Very well written. She paints a picture. Let's go on. The ranch made me who I am. We were always busy, but never rushed. There was an unspoken understanding that life had a pace, and you didn't need to force it. We were told not to run the horses too much, not to wear them out before a long ride. Looking back, I think that's a great metaphor for life. Walk when it's not necessary to run, and save your energy for the long journey ahead. But the ranch wasn't perfect. Beneath the nostalgia, there were flaws, struggles, and plenty of hard lessons. Some of my family members see that place as cursed, and I can understand why. I don't pretend it was perfect. Not everything about it was peaceful. Not everything was right. But for me, the best parts of it still stand out in my memory. The stillness, the simplicity, the connection to land, animals, and a way of life that moved in step with nature instead of fighting against it. And that's one of the biggest reasons Taeda Farms was born. I read this so quickly before people. I don't remember a lot of this. This is wow. There's so much to say. Okay, let's go on. I wanted to take the best parts of my childhood ranch, the beauty, the slowness, the lessons and gratitude, and give them to my kids. I wanted them to have a space where they could wander through nature, not just observe it from a distance. Coyote past. I wanted them to appreciate the animals that give us so much, to understand the give and take of a farm, where respect for life is woven into Every part of the day, I wanted them to have deep gratitude for rain and sunshine, to know that we need both in the fields. And in life, that was a good line. That's a good line. I wanted them. I got to read it. Again, I got to read it again. I wanted them to have a deep gratitude for rain and sunshine, to know that we need both in the fields. And in life, we need the ups and downs, people, right? If we didn't have the downs in life, we wouldn't have the ups. Life would just be this, because we go through the pits and the valleys. We have the peaks and the joys and the great parts, and we appreciate it so much more because of where we were before. This is so well written. I did not know. I knew Maddie was really smart. I knew that she was. But this is good. She is gifted in language. All right, let's go on. Most of all, I wanted them to grow up away from hustle culture, to know what it's like to slow down, to eat homemade food, to work with their hands, to understand that life isn't meant to be rushed through but fully lived. I have a lot of hopes for Taeda Farms. I dream of building a successful flower farm, a place where beauty and hard work come together in something tangible. That part is for everyone, for healing, for connection, for embracing the slow, a place where we move at the pace of nature instead of the pace of the world. Sign me up. But more than anything, more than the flowers, my greatest hope, dream, and prayer is that Taeda Farms becomes for my children what the ranch was for me, a place where they grow up surrounded by gardens and a deep respect for animals, a place where they learn the give and take of farm life, where they wake up each day with gratitude for the rain and the sunshine, understanding that we need both. In the understanding that we need both in the fields and in life. Did I just read that again? Did she write it again? Wait. Okay, I don't think she realized she wrote the same thing twice. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it was so good. I read it twice already. Okay, maybe she was trying to reiterate. All right, we'll move on, a place of wonder, of learning, of freedom, a place where they can run, breathe, and just be, a place that will live in them long after they've grown. That's nice, because that's what the farm is to her, or the ranch. That's what the ranch is to her, place that still lives in her, because the best parts of the ranch I grew up on weren't just about the land, they were about the life that happened there. And that's exactly what I want to give them. That is nice. That's all she wrote. There's some pictures that I will share. One of her all muddy. They went mudding. His mother was a mudda. His father was a mudda. That's a Seinfeld reference about horse racing anyway. His mother was a mudder. His mother was his father was a mudder. His mother was a mudder. Clearly, I can tell the one boy is Hunter and the other boy is Logan. And then there's Logan, a little bit older, on a horse. And then we see Gabe on top of a roof of something, it looks like. And then there's a picture of just a whole bunch of people. I'm guessing Garrison's probably in that photo. All right, thoughts. Well, one beautifully written. Okay, also, it is true that two people can experience the same thing but walk away with different experiences, because I know that the cousin Benjamin does not have anything positive to say about the ranch. But clearly Maddie doesn't. It doesn't look like Maddie spent her time in the kitchen. It looks like Maddie spent her time with the boys doing the boy things. Maybe she was handled with kid gloves a little bit more, because she's a girl. That's possible. It's possible. Maybe I was gonna say maybe Kody's kids were treated nicer. But I felt like Kody was the son of Win. That was the least liked. I don't know. I'm way more diplomatic about it. There are some people who can't remember anything positive about certain experiences, or it changes. Kody Brown will say how absolutely miserable Las Vegas was, how he couldn't wait to get out of there. It was miserable. He didn't want to go there to begin with. He couldn't wait to get out of it. He doesn't like the weather. He doesn't like the people. He doesn't like the oppression. He likes nothing about it. It was just the place they picked, because they had to rush out and get out really quick. And then 10 years later, he says that was the best time of his life in Vegas. And then we have Robyn Brown, who's consistent, and every experience in her past is miserable, and she was just a victim, and it was horrible. Nobody was good to her, nobody was kind to her. She suffered through it like negative, 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 okay? I'm getting off on a tangent here. I'm just saying the experience of the ranch, for Maddie predominantly was a positive one. So we can't take it away from her. That's how she saw it. That's how she experienced it. I'm glad. And she acknowledged that wasn't how everyone else perceived it too. Maybe even some of her brothers didn't, like I don't know, they always wanted to go back, even though I thought Kody was the black sheep of the family, and the least liked by Win. Maybe I'm wrong on that, or maybe he was, but the grandchildren, which doesn't make sense. But the grandchildren were beloved of Kody's, whereas the another brother's kids were not. I don't know, we're getting off track here. The experience for Maddie was so positive she wants to replicate it. For her children, that's how good it was. The nostalgia was so strong, her prayers her children have that same experience. That's powerful. The words here are so good, but for me the best parts of it still stand out in my memory. The stillness, the simplicity, the connection to land animals, and the way of life that moved in step with nature. Instead of fighting against it, good stuff, impressive, all right. I have heard from people I haven't read up on it or saw why exactly that there wasn't going to be a flower farm. Because there were a bunch of idiots that bought land that you couldn't grow flowers on. I don't know, I've always ignored it. Because I'm like, you can grow flowers anywhere. You can have raised beds if you have clay land. But apparently these flower farms are real popular in North Carolina. So I find it odd that they bought land that you couldn't do that on, but then I thought, oh, I guess it's possible, maybe it's a wetland area, and it's just too damp. And they just flood or something, I don't know. But then again, like I said, you could build raised beds and still make it happen. So I just disregarded that because it's just negativity for the sake of negativity until they come out and say, whoops, we made a mistake, we can grow no flowers here. I'm just going to take them at their word. I'm not trying to knock them down for the sake of knocking them down, just because I want them to be successful. So I'm going to be their biggest champion until they prove me otherwise. Same with Christine, same with Mary. I want the three of them to succeed. I want them to rise above. I want them, now that they're out from under the oppression of Kody and Robyn, quite frankly, and they're free to keep their own money and not give it to her, and they're free to make their own decisions and not have Kody decide for them. I want them to soar. I want them to fly. I want them to succeed. So I'm not going to be the one that, if it looks like something is wrong, that's going to jump on that bandwagon and go, oh, looks like it's gonna not be successful. Although I did say about Christine's book, I don't think it's going to be good, but I bought it because I want her to be successful. And I will talk about it on my channel because I want her to be successful. I was just being honest. I don't think my opinion is how could it possibly be good. She's in the middle of a lawsuit, all the good stuff, can't say good point. We'll see. I will be tickled pink if I am proven wrong. Tickle pink. I say so. This is where we are. According to this, their plan is to grow flowers, and this is March of 2025. But okay, building beauty from the ground up. Let's go. Okay, that was blog number 3. We learn a little bit more about this family every time now. I'll be on top of it, so when the next one comes out in April, I'll bring it to you right away. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day. God bless. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, sister friends. The Brown Ranch, a central part of the Sister Wives family saga, sparks mixed opinions. For some, it represents hope, a dream of building a community and creating a legacy on Coyote Pass. But for others, it's a symbol of unfulfilled promises and shifting dynamics. On the positive side, the Brown Ranch offered a sense of unity, a shared vision of land ownership and self-sufficiency. It embodied the family's desire for independence and a fresh start away from the complexities of their past. It was a dream for many years, with plans for multiple homes and a cohesive family life on the horizon. However, the reality proved more challenging. Slow construction, ongoing disagreements, and the challenges of living on raw land turned what was supposed to be a sanctuary into a frustrating struggle. As tensions mounted, it became clear that the ranch wasn't the solution many had hoped for. In the end, the Brown Ranch was a bittersweet chapter. It was a place of potential, but also of unrealized dreams. Whether it was good or bad depends on one's perspective. But for many, it's a reminder that not all dreams are meant to be built on land. All sister wives in the US update. Mary Brown, Janelle Brown, Robyn Brown, Mike Kelty Padron, Kody Brown. Related. For you, recently uploaded.